Hey everybody, it is Mike Bruce with Life Starts with Food Health Coaching, and I'm here today with one of my rock stars. Like I don't care about rock stars. I care about local chefs. And oh, he's blushing already. And Jason is one of the first chefs that we ever really got to know. He owns a restaurant here locally in Beaver, PA, called Biba. Is it Biba Cocina or Biba?
You just call it Biba.
Biba. It is as you can hear, Biba Cocina. It is a Latin-inspired fine dining restaurant that I absolutely love going to. My wife loves going to. He has just treated us tremendously for the last 10 years. So, like I said, if somebody can take amazing foods and make them taste even better using whole foods, they are my heroes. So, Jason, anything you want to tell us about how you got started in the restaurant biz or how you ended up in Beaver?
Yeah, I've been working in restaurants since I believe '89. I got hurt playing football, couldn't play football anymore, so I got a job as a busboy. But anyway, long story short, long time after that, I saw that the place that used to be Mario's was for lease, and I pretty much moved in while he was moving out.
Yeah.
And I felt like there was a niche for the type of restaurant that I wanted, which was a small, intimate, upscale venue.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we've been there 10 years now. And the position that we're in now is, of course, unusual, I think, as everybody knows.
Yeah.
But it's not been bad at all. Like the community has had our back from the very beginning. It's been amazing. The relationships that we've made have been amazing. So it's a different way of doing business, but not a bad way. It's good.
Because one of the things I love about your restaurant is, like you said, it is small, it's quaint. You can only fit, I don't know, maybe 40 people in there at a time. And when Kim and I come down for anniversaries, birthdays, and first off, if we ever decide that we're not coming down for a birthday or an anniversary, and like we go somewhere else, every single time we just go, that didn't feel right. And we end up coming to you anyways. So what I love is we'll tell you, hey, we're going to come down. We want you to kind of give us our different courses over like 3 hours. We just want to sit and hang together and drink wine and just eat slowly. And sure enough, you just let us do it. And I know it's only two of us taking up a small table, but it's just a terrific thing that you guys do that. And you always have amazing staff. So helpful and hospitable. Any questions I have, they answer. Kim and I have dietary issues, and you guys take care of us terrifically. So, I mean, we give you a heads up. We always give you a heads up. Because that
makes the difference for sure. Because there's a lot of people that do have dietary restrictions, and I just can't pull a rabbit out of the hat. Sometimes I have to have products available.
Yeah, because it's one thing when someone says I'm just gluten free. That's fairly straightforward, easy. As long as you always ask, well, is it cross contamination or is it mild? And then Kim and I come in and we're like, man, we're doing like 14 different things. And
I can tell you what you're doing. I know what you're doing. So all the things: gluten-free, no processed foods, no sugar, no fun. No, but if you give me a chance, I can always take care of you.
And you're always terrific. You really are. We give you like several days heads up, and we ask for the best day for you too, which anybody watching, if you want to go to a restaurant you love, be that respectful to the chef. Give him the options of when he can take care of you, because that makes a world of difference. But so Jason, in this climate, we're talking about the whole coronavirus and the quarantine issues going on. Not quarantine. Nobody's quarantined for like seriously quarantined in the US, but we kind of are. So we have this stay-at-home order in Pennsylvania, essential workers only. Thank God restaurants are essential, because you guys work on such a razor thin margin already. So to be able to still get food out, but you can't have dine-in patrons. So what what have you been doing? So your normal hours would have been sometimes some days you have lunch, some days you don't, but generally all evening long you're serving patrons. What's it look like now to you?
Well, thank God it's all the same faces and some new, but there's a pretty steady flow of guests in and out, and we just keep them. Sometimes we've had 3 in the restaurant at one time, but we try to keep it to 1 based on the timing between orders that we.
And you're talking pickup orders, people coming in and out.
Right. It's just pickup. Yeah. So there were a lot of adjustments that we had to make. Nothing difficult, just different. Just for example, right when this happened, when they announced the stay-at-home order, I just got a new point of sale system and a phone.
Man.
And so the phone is just an iPhone, but it's different than just answering a landline every time it goes, right? So there's only one line. The phone rings and rings and rings from the time we open till we close. And I'm on a limited staff for a lot of reasons, just to keep it safe. And we'll be taking orders and we hang up and we have 9 voicemails. And we even leave a voicemail or a message on the voicemail that says, "Don't leave your order on here," and they leave their order on it.
Oh man.
Which, we're just trying to help everybody and take care of and serve everyone. But it's what happens too is normally at dinner service, I only have 40 seats. So, 12 tables roughly. And now we'll have 25 or 30 tickets hanging, and each ticket represents a family. Wow. It's not like it's like one Cuban sandwich or a pasta. Like once in a while that happens, but usually it's like 4 salads, 2 Cuban sandwiches, 2 pastas, and 3 Brussels sprouts on one ticket. And so we'll end up having just at any given moment 15, 20, 30 boxes of food sitting there. And I'd say we're making on average maybe 1 mistake every other day, getting someone like we forget something in their order.
That's nothing, man.
It kills me, and my staff's doing an amazing job at it. But I know how it feels when you get home and you're missing something.
Yeah, I mean, I still work service industry, and I'm telling you, man, 1 mistake when you're that busy. I mean, it's one thing to make a mistake when they're sit down. Big whoop. You just bring them out their stuff.
They're there. You just sit there.
But you have to be very particular when you're sending it out, right? Because you're not doing deliveries, so you can't just send a delivery guy out to take their order back. They got to get back in the car and come back. So that's an incredible. That's a great amount of success on your side. That's great.
But still too many though.
Just because you're a perfectionist.
Well, no, it's just my staff is all plenty good enough to make it happen too. I've actually made a couple of the mistakes myself. It's not just them, but and I offer to bring it to the people's homes, but nobody wants me to come to their house. Let's face it.
And a lot of the things you said there that are for takeout, it's like sandwiches, and you do tacos a ton. So this is kind of like your Tuesday night menu. From what I know of it, because you are a fine dining restaurant. You do terrific, all sorts of meat, soups. I mean, you name it, you crush it. I've had a friend from Venezuela that's come to your restaurant, and you made it was either a Venezuelan or Colombian soup. And she was almost in tears because she said it tasted just like her mother's. Terrific food. So you really touch a lot of people with the ability you have to just bring emotions and to bring memories back with food. And so what I've noticed is most of the food you're putting out is the easier stuff. Not easy, because nothing you do is simple and basic. It's very terrifically well done and thought through. It's more of your Tuesday night menu, your Taco Tuesdays, with the addition of those Brussels sprouts, man. So you have an ability to make sides that just blow me away. And your ability to bring together different flavors I never imagined throwing grapefruit on a salmon. And that was one of my favorite meals I've ever had with you. And I can say that about almost every meal I've ever had with you is that it's one of my favorite meals. So it's really cool to see what you do. So a friend just chimed in, a kid I went to high school with, played football with, said, I need to come your way after the quarantine's over, get a break from the kids. So we'll have to come over to Jason's, have a bottle of wine or something to drink and a great meal, man. So, but yeah, so what are some of the hurdles you had to kind of jump through? Because I know you said you just got a new point of sale system. So were you already fairly ready to use that, or was it a learning process with this point of sale system?
No, I was not ready at all. And it was a little intimidating because it's one of the best ones out there. Mm-hmm. Of course, I didn't know that for sure because they all tell you that when they're selling you. But it had to happen when it happened. And the last system I used was a detriment. It was bad. Mm-hmm. And this system, the company was amazing. They're called Upserve. They were formerly Breadcrumb. I think they deserve a shout out. I mean, they've been there every step of the way, everything I've needed. Just it's a really great setup. And it was pretty scary because we went from one day using one POS. I tore it down, set the other one up, and we opened, and that's the one we had.
Man,
it was seamless. There were no issues. But it's capable of a lot of things, including online ordering. And I'm getting very close to being able to do that. The problem is I don't have a way to control the orders coming in through that online ordering. And it can really get out of hand. And I don't want people having to wait. We were having an issue. I would say the big obstacle when this all happened, we're not a fast restaurant. We're not.
Yeah, you guys are slow food in a good way.
But we're fast now. It just took us a couple weeks. We're on it now. I'm doing taco kits. They're convenient. There's a lot of food there. They're versatile as far as the customer can just make the taco he wants, whatever.
Yeah,
but those things are flying out now. So speed was our Achilles heel for a minute until we adjusted, because before I really didn't care. It was about the experience, mm-hmm. making sure everything was right. And now it's about not having more than one or two people in our building. And so one of the reasons I mentioned the POS also, it has handheld access too. So we can take an iPad to the door, and pretty soon we're probably maybe Tuesday, as soon as it warms up, we're going to just have pickup at the front door entrance. So people mm-hmm. don't have to come in. We leave the door open now so they don't have to touch the handle.
Yeah.
Our manager sanitizes the pens and the pads and she walks around with the spray bottle and just sprays everything. Yeah. Or it sprays me, whatever. But, yeah, so I thought it was going to be an obstacle, but it turned the POS system turned out to be the best thing going for us right now.
That's great. Yeah, I've seen a couple people locally that have had. I didn't know they had online ordering. For instance, our friend Vic from Vic's Oven, he has online ordering. Has he always had that?
He's had it for a while. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and yeah,
Beaver Bagel also has it.
I think
know she had been set up for that at some point.
That's terrific. But yeah, you've never been in the situation to really do a whole lot of takeout. I know when I'm sitting there, people do come in for takeout, but it's that's not your main business. You do catering, you do sit in, dine in, and then you do you do events. Well, like I said, catering. But we have a mutual friend, Steve Montgomery from Lamppost Farms. I had him on a week or two ago, and just talking about how you can support your local farmer. And yeah, he's a terrific guy, and he does events out at his farm that you do a lot of cooking at. And they got a fun setup out there for cooking, right?
Yeah, they have a great outdoor venue there. There's a few of those popping up with sort of different themes. They're not all necessarily at farms, but that's kind of where I'm looking to in the future, is to do things outside more. Yeah,
and unfortunately, it's our 10-year wedding anniversary, mine and Kim. Not unfortunately.
Yeah, I was going to say, watch yourself, kid.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because we can't come and sit down in your restaurant. So I might have to, when we're done with this, I'm going to have to stay on for a couple minutes and talk to you about something we can do for that, because we can't not have Biba for our anniversary, especially our 10-year. We literally were there for our first.
One, huh?
Yeah, it was our first anniversary. We ate at your restaurant, and just
was it really?
Pretty sure it was either first or second. We might have went for Kim's birthday our first year, or it was her first anniversary. I can't remember which one. If Kim's watching, she's working in the other room, but if she's watching, I'll make sure she chimes in to let us know. So yeah, we got to figure that out, man. And we were considering like a big 10-year kind of wedding renewal, like a vows renewal and stuff. And we did not plan that because we planned a big trip to Portugal. And thankfully, we didn't have to go canceling a bunch of venues or anything like that.
Yeah, because that's happening right now.
Yeah. So, but the positives, I want to know, what do you think are some of the positives that have actually come from kind of being forced into this situation, right? The positives of Kim says she thinks it's the second anniversary. I'm
sure she's right.
Yeah, she's got a good brain for those things, right? So. But yeah, what do you think are some of the positives that have come up from needing to pivot and take care of your customers in a totally different way than you're used to?
So we talked about these questions, and I knew about these questions, and I don't have an answer. I thought about it, and I think that I don't really feel a whole lot differently about anything as far as the restaurant goes and the way we're serving people. And, it's different. It's different and it's weird for everybody. But at the same time, I think that like at the end of the day, food is always like the great common denominator, brings everybody together, whether you're home or in the restaurant. I really do believe that when this is all over, I think things are just going to go back to normal. As far as restaurants go, I think they're going to struggle, and the tail end of the economic crisis is going to be a lot more transparent than what's happening with the economy right now. And that will probably have an effect on the restaurant business, no doubt.
I agree.
But people are going to come in and they're going to sit down with their families and have dinner and think nothing of it. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I definitely think in our region here, we're outside of Pittsburgh. So we're not in a big city, but we're not in the middle of nowhere. I think people can't wait to go sit down at a restaurant. We might see a lot of masks. We might see gloves while people are eating. I don't know. But I do think it's going to get back. People are going to immediately go to a restaurant as soon as they're allowed to. And I think it's going to be a big boom for the first couple weeks, and then maybe just the first week. And then it might go back to like a little slower with pickups again, right? But do you think your pickup business is going to stay the same? Or are you going to try to kind of push back on that and keep it at a sit-down restaurant more? Because that'd be hard for you. The amount of volume. So guys, Jason is having so much volume in his pickup business now, his takeout business, that he's had nights on Facebook that he has to post at like 7 p.m. I can't do any more orders, guys. I'm out of food. That's incredible support. And thank you guys so much for supporting the local businesses that you love this way. But what do you think you're going to do about that in the future? Balancing the pickups with the sit down.
We're going back to sit down. We're going back. We are who we are. Yeah. That's all you can do is just be who you are. I'm not really a takeout place. I'm not opposed. I've considered doing a completely separate business that would be takeout. Yeah. But at this point, Biba is a sit down. That's what it is. Yeah. And of course, I wouldn't discourage takeout. And I think we've picked up some people just through word of mouth that have been doing takeout. And I think that it will improve and increase takeout business. Mm-hmm. But our food just doesn't travel well, like when you're doing snapper and lamb chops and steaks and scallops and stuff, it's like you have 15 minutes and then it's not as good. Yeah. So we're going to do what we do. And when that time comes, it'll be pretty easy too. It'll probably take us one day or a half a day just to, I have all my plates clear wrapped, keep them clean and everything. We'll have to just unwrap our plates and get back in the swing of things, get used to the new POS as far as serving multiple courses. Yeah. But Yeah, I'm going to go back to business as usual, and I adapt. I mean, that's what you do in a restaurant. If you can't adapt, you're going to have a hard time. You can't be a one-trick pony in this business.
Sure. Well, for instance, and I'm not sure exactly how this is allowed. Maybe there's been exceptions made for businesses in PA. I know Ohio just made this exception that businesses are allowed to now sell alcohol for takeout in Ohio. So I think it's like one thing per meal. So like the office I work at, the wife went to a Mexican restaurant and she went home with a margarita and they put it in like a soup container.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. So Kim was saying that one of the restaurants in Pittsburgh, one of the nice hotels that has an amazing wine cellar, what they're doing, because they don't have any type of takeout menu, they are now selling cuts of meat, and they're selling bottles of wine for like half the price that they would if you were in a restaurant. So, you're walking out with a $25 bottle of wine. Like that's the price you're paying. So in restaurant, you're looking at $60, maybe to $100 for that $25 bottle, and a real nice cut of meat that you normally, where you can find a lot of those, you're not always finding those nice cuts of meat from fine restaurants locally. So that's a really cool thing to do. And I know Beaver is you can't sell alcohol in Beaver, but at your restaurant, you can bring a bottle with you. So, but yeah, that's a really interesting thing. So I don't know if that's something that you would ever consider in the future, is taking some of your fine cuts of meat, fine fish, and maybe having like a little write-up on the box to tell people the best way to cook it, the way you would recommend. So just throwing that idea out there. But so we kind of hit all the questions I had for you. What's life been like for you? Because you're not any less busy as a person, as a family, correct? Like it's almost business as usual in terms of the amount of hours in your day that you are putting towards work and life and business, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I had to lay off one person, actually, technically 3 people, and there was another position I didn't hire back. Wow. So technically, I'm down 2 back of the house and 2 front of the house. I'm down 4 people technically.
Yeah.
So there's the job is easier. Making takeout food and making sandwiches and salads and everything, it's way easier than the stuff we normally do.
Yeah.
But there's a lot less of us, and we're just doing that for the sake of caution, because we don't know what the future brings.
Yep.
So yeah, it's busier, but I'm really enjoying it because my wife and son are both home in the morning. So it's nice because I don't see them. My kid's at school, my wife's at work. I get up, I come home, they're in bed. That's pretty normal. Yeah. But as far as the way my life's changed, I just get up, go to work, and come home.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing, not complaining. That's just,
but now, yeah, but like you said, and now you actually get to see your wife and kids more.
To do stuff. And
you have 1 kid or 2?
Just 1.
Yeah. And that's for me and Kim. Holy cow. She now works. She's working 30 foot that direction. Yeah. And it's heaven. It is absolute heaven for me. My schedule is exactly the same. And in fact, I have become more productive because I have one meeting a week that's always at like 7 a.m. And cutting that out because it was at a restaurant, we cut that out. And I am just with that like 2-hour cut in my sleep, I am way more productive without having that 2 hours. But for the whole week, I'm more productive, which is kind of a sad thing that now I'm thinking like, man, I might have to cut that out of my life if it's affecting me that bad. So Kim, she has more sleep. She doesn't have to roll out of bed at 5 to get on a call with Japan at 7:30, in Robinson. So now she just rolls out of bed, puts on some clothes, and walks right to the living room. And her health and her sleep is way better. She gets to have some activity, move. She gets to eat when she feels like it instead of forcing herself to eat before she goes to work. So in all honesty, I think there's a ton of benefits from all this working from home for the people that get to. But man, yeah, I'm just like you. My life has not changed. My 2 jobs are both essential. So I'm busier than ever.
Yeah, I can't say that. Sometimes I think that it's a little too easy. It's almost like if you imagine if you were like when I was growing up, nobody was homeschooled. Like the Amish were homeschooled. Nobody was homeschooled. Now a lot of people are homeschooled. You always imagine, oh, what would that have been like, right? And you'd be like, oh, I'd be so lazy and do whatever I want. Sometimes I'm kind of like that now. So but whatever. I mean, it's been a good run, and I have a good staff that helps out with that. That keeps me from having to live at the restaurant, really. Yeah. So it's a positive.
That's nice. So like Dave was on the other day, our friend Dave Pavkovich, and he said, this too shall pass, but he said it as like the good stuff. This too shall pass. I never considered that phrase as, hey, the positive can't always stay positive. And as soon as he said it, I'm like, yeah, everything's a cycle, and you get the good life, enjoy the good life when you got it. And then you got to, buckle down and work harder for a time. And that goes away too. That passes as well. So it's just neat. The positives I'm seeing in humanity that are coming out right now, with people supporting people helping out, people that are saying, I've heard people say like, yeah, I don't need the stimulus check that we're going to get. Let me know if you hear of anybody who loses their job and can't pay for their house. Like I'm hearing stuff like that. People don't necessarily just give away money like that, large chunks. So this is a really cool thing. Jason, where's the place? So I have, I'll bring up your Facebook page here. Let's see. That's not your Facebook page. That is your website. So Biba in Beaver. It's bibabeaver.com. And but your Facebook page is where they can see a daily menu, right?
Right. Yeah, we have to post a menu every day. It doesn't change a whole lot. My supply line has been cut in half. Mm-hmm. It's a small, especially produce, which we buy a lot of fresh produce. Yeah, it went from 6 days to 3 days a week. So we're posting new on Facebook every day. Sometimes I get it on Instagram, but it's always on Facebook.
Yeah. I didn't know you had an Instagram. What's that?
Geez, I'm going to have to look. I think I know, but,
cause I was looking for that earlier.
Let me take a look here.
But, yeah, so let me get back to where I can scroll this some. So yeah, this is yesterday's menu, if I'm not mistaken. And,
Kitchen.
What's that?
Biba Kitchen.
Biba Kitchen. Okay, good. I'll put that in the notes here. I'll actually put it in the, just the comments here. Spell Biba Kitchen. Okay.
Yeah, so tonight, it's Friday, it's Lent. We're doing fish taco kits.
Yeah.
And that has been another big bottleneck for us. Just fish tacos go out of there like crazy.
Oh, man.
So the kits are going to make it really fast and efficient. I think it'll be nice. Then I'm doing shrimp pasta. We make our pasta in-house. So that's going to be a really nice feature too.
And you crush it in terms of tacos. Like everybody loves tacos, but you make some incredible tacos. And like for us, you've gotten, you have, in the past, you've had corn tortillas and the corn wheat tortillas, like both options. The corn tortillas that you used to get at least were from a place in Pittsburgh that I think closed down this past year, which is a shame. It was a terrific Mexican restaurant. But yeah, I mean, your tacos are just unbelievable. The things you come up with are so stinking good, man. And that's, yeah, speaking of Dave threw out the Biba Kitchen for us.
What's up, Dave? Dave from Soul Lift. Got to get
Rachel wants to know, how do we order? Do we call? Do we go online? So yeah, Rachel, you call. The number is in the. I put the number down below in the description. But Jason, what's the number?
724-728-7700. And our hours are a little flexible. We usually open at 4 and stop service at 8. Mm-hmm. That's pretty standard for us, Tuesday through Saturday.
And so you said 724-778-7700.
728.
728. That makes more sense for around here. I should know these. There we go. And yeah, and then our friend Holly's up at Dr. Pete's office. All these people that have already been on the show with us, I don't know what I call this thing, that I've just had on here. They're all
Just
reaching
all
out.
your friends.
Yeah, guys, I've said this before. I am so blessed with the types of friends I have. Like any chef.
There he is.
There's the dog.
There's the man. Say hi.
Look at that.
All right, get on out of here.
And I love the shirt too. The chef
thanks.
shirt.
Yeah, it was a gift from one of my friends. I wore it. I was hoping he would see it on here.
Yeah. But I'm just so blessed with friends, and I know you are too. We have a lot of the same friends, which is kind of, well, in fact, Dave's become a great friend of mine, and you were the one that introduced the two of us. And like, I just love that we all get along, and it's not like we hang out or anything together. You know, we're not that kind of friends, which we can be, by the way.
Yeah. We hang out sometimes, just not you.
What's that?
We hang out, just not with you.
That's right.
Yeah. Me, Dave, Vic, all the guys.
Yeah. So
we'll invite you next time.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry when we get off here. But yeah, and like it's really cool. Dave's one of those guys. He just wants to bring together people that want to be better, and that's how I am. That's how you are. Another thing that I want to mention for you is if you guys own a restaurant and you want someone to work on your menu or someone to advise the restaurant, Jason, I know you do that for a couple local restaurants as well, because you are gifted at what you do. I know there's a handful of restaurants you do that for. So is that something people can just call the restaurant and get a hold of you to do?
Yeah. It's just something I sort of fell into, and it's really good for me too. I've learned so much from doing it from other people too. You go in and help them in some of their areas where they're struggling. And sometimes it's not because they're not really great at what they do. It's just because the labor force is tight in the area. And, you know, some people, unlike myself, don't realize what it's like to have skin in the game. And so you can bring a different perspective to the restaurants. But I get as much out of it as they do, for sure.
Yeah, sure.
But it's just a, case by case basis. The place I'm working with now, I really love the people. So I feel really great about it, and we have a good relationship.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they're closed right now because they're in Ohio, and they're just a big, nice restaurant, and they were sort of had no choice but to close.
Yeah.
They'll be open. They're strong. Yeah.
One of the restaurants you were working with is really close by to you. So it's not like you're worried about competition either, because, the rising tide lifts all ships. So you're all about helping other people locally. If you have a nice town to come to that has 6 different great restaurants, that only makes it better for everybody. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's terrific, man. Anything else you want to leave everybody with? All of our friends are on here watching right now, which is fun, making comments. Rachel threw up a good old burn from, thanks, Rachel. She's one of my favorites. That's Dr. Pete's wife. So, anything you want to leave us with, man?
Yeah. Maybe just a couple things. I've realized how fortunate we are as a family and as a business through all this. When we first got the news, I thought, oh, we're in trouble here. This is going to be really bad. And I obviously had to make some pretty serious adjustments with staff, and I cut some costs out of the business like you would not believe. As soon as things started, I was already on that, because you just can't make those decisions quick enough, really. But there are people that it is really bad for. And so we're really grateful for all the people that have been eating with us for a long time, and they're showing up, and it's just unbelievable the amount of support they're giving us. And also the understanding they have when we run out of food, because, I order a case of something and it doesn't come for 5 days or whatever. You just can't get things. So the understanding that we're all in it together, but there really are a lot of people that are struggling through all of this. So count your blessings. I'm glad that my staff, that my core staff, has been able to stay with us to this point. And I hope that other businesses in the area are receiving this kind of support too.
Yeah, that's terrific. Yeah, and I sure hope so too, man. I would love to see our little area rebound as good or better than before this. It's going to be a tough one, but I think it's doable. I think if this doesn't last too much longer, we can really bounce out of this. I don't know about the rest of the country. The big cities and things might be a little harder, but I think we can. So, well, Jason, hang on. I'm going to end the broadcast here. And everybody watching and everybody that chimed in, thank you so much. And everybody that's supporting Jason, thank you so much. And everybody that's supporting all your local restaurants. If there's a restaurant you want to see that you want to order from, call, ask them questions, ask how you can help them out. Sometimes it's just buying a gift card. So if Jason's not serving the stuff that you like from Jason right now, buy a gift card from him, and wait till he opens back up, and then use that gift card then. So that's something that really supports a lot of restaurants. So thanks everybody so much, and until next time, whenever that might be, we'll see you guys.
Thanks. Thank you.